All right, in this lesson, we're going to be talking about some other related costs to the asset after we've already acquired and we've started using that asset. What do we do with those additional costs that we might incur associated with that asset? So that's what we're going to be talking about in this lesson. So let's get started here. Once a long-lived asset's in place and ready for its intended use, there are costs that usually comes up and it's related to that long-lived asset, kind of like oil changes to your car. You're still going to need to invest in your car through oil changes and repairs and maintenance. What do you do with those costs? Do you add it? Do you not add it? So that's what we're going to look at in this lesson. So there are other costs that are related to the long-lived assets, which we must consider when capitalizing or not. So we may capitalize, we may not capitalize those costs, and it really depends on what costs we incur after we've first acquired the asset. Now, those costs are usually known as maintenance costs, which are related to those long-lived assets, and we can divide them into either one of two groups. The first group is the ordinary repairs and maintenance, and the other one is extraordinary repairs, replacements, and additions. So one is very maintaining kind of a thing, and the other one's more like an overhaul kind of thing. And we're going to explain them in more detail, but that's basically what we're saying. Is the cost associated maintaining it, or is it actually overhauling it, making it better, and extending its life? So that's kind of what the two buckets that we have here. So when we talk about ordinary repairs and maintenance, these costs are usually related to upkeep, making sure that the asset works properly over a long period of time. They can either maintain the asset over a short period of time or for even longer, including the life of the asset. As such, these costs are expensed in the period in which they incur. So for instance, that oil change on the car, go ahead and expense it every time that you make that payment, that you incur that cost. So if it's just an upkeep thing that you have to do just to upkeep it, to keep it going, then just expense it when it incurs. Now, this is different from our extraordinary repairs, replacements, and additions. These are costs that are usually infrequent, but they do increase either a long-lived asset's useful life or make it last longer or better, and are usually of greater cost than ordinary repairs and maintenance. Costs related to these types of items are capitalized and then allocated over the useful life of the addition or the remaining life of the asset, including the extension. So what we're saying here is if it's extraordinary, for instance, if we're going to overhaul an engine in a car, that's not upkeeping. That's literally building a better car, a newer car, a car that's going to last a little longer. Those costs that are associated with that will be capitalized into usually its own account. So it'll be, car overhaul as the account name. So it would be capitalized and then it would be allocated over the useful life of that new asset or that addition, or the useful life of the car plus its extension. So if we're 5 years into a 10-year car, we do this overhaul and it gives us 12 years, then we would allocate the cost over the rest of its 5-year life plus the 2 years that we've given it because of this overhaul. So 7 years, because the first 5 years are gone. Okay. So that's what we're going to do here. So if it's extraordinary, capitalize the cost, and then we're going to allocate it over its rest of its useful life plus the addition, or whatever that addition's useful life is. If that additional useful life only lasts for another 3 years, and then we have to replace it again, then it would be 3 years rather than the life of the actual equipment. So extraordinary, capitalize, and then allocate the cost over a period of time. So that's a look at other related costs. So these are just costs that you're going to incur after you acquire it. It goes into one of two buckets: ordinary repairs or extraordinary repairs. Ordinary repairs has to do with the upkeep. Extraordinary repairs has to do with actually extending its life, making it better, more efficient. In that case, we're going to capitalize, expense over its useful life. Otherwise, it's just a repair. That a repair is expense in the period that we had to repair or incurred that cost. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this lesson. We'll see you in the next video. Hey guys, if you like this video, make sure you press the like button below. And if you're looking for worksheets that go along with all of these lessons, head over to my website at patrickleemsa.com or click in the link in the far right. And I've got your next lesson right over here. So just click that link and it'll take you to that video. So until then, we'll see you in the next lesson.